Welcome back to the show, everyone. This is Bizzle. Today's topics, we're going to cover comics. What am I reading currently? I figured I'd take this time to kind of give you a series rundown of some of the comics I'm reading, various titles. This show is not brought to you by Marvel Unlimited, but it is a big endorsement of mine. I use this app vigorously, to say the least. First, let's start off with, let me find my notes. How are all you doing? Fine, I hope. Here lately I've been reading a lot of Squadron Supreme. Squadron Supreme, for those who don't know, is basically a ripoff of the Justice League. It was started as Squadron Sinister, which was going to be an exact evil version of the Justice League, but then it ventured off into, the multiverse that is Marvel, and we got the Squadron Supreme and a couple different versions of them. But what I've been reading recently has been Ultimate Power, which is when, without giving away too much, the Ultimates universe kind of collides with one of the many universes led by the Squadron Supreme, and this leads to the Squadron Supreme being pretty pissed off with anybody in the Ultimates universe, and they have a bit of a battle. Definitely recommend reading it. It's one of the first comics that got me to read Ultimates comics, which I really wasn't a fan of when they first came out. Another multiversal type read I've been given a shot is The Incredible Hulk's Future Imperfect. Now, I have read the classic 1993 version, as well as the 2006 version? Was that when they redid that again? God, this is so much better with another host. Let's see, where is it? I had notes for this, and they're not helping. There it is. No, it's not. Anyway, 2006. We'll go with that. Sounds good enough. Future Imperfect, for those who don't know, is when Maestro was born. The Hulk finally gets pissed off enough to kill every superhero that stands in his way, and he takes over the world. Then kind of rations out portions of it to any supervillains who kind of side with him, or at least he's not too angry at directly. It's a very, very interesting read. I suggest starting with the 93 version and then skyrocket to the newest version wherever you are on Marvel Unlimited. I feel like if they were to do a movie about Maestro, it would have to be R-rated, because it would have to include the gore and the, impoverished lands and a decimated America, lots of killing, so on and so forth. No, I've had an extreme hang up here lately on Marvel Zombies. There's so many issues of Marvel Zombies. There's Marvel Zombies Destroys, Marvel Zombies Resurrected, Marvel Zombies Evil Evolution, and I think I've read them all. If I haven't found one, if I haven't read it, it's it's not my fault. I just haven't found it yet. Let's see here. What if Miles Morales became the Wolverine? I honestly, I feel like they're just trying to beat the Miles Morales dead horse right now. I love What If comics usually, but these are just kind of redundant. You're just gonna try Miles Morales out as every character, which is cool, but is Miles really that interesting? Or are we just trying to make him that interesting? I don't find him that interesting. I made it through about 3 issues of the Miles Morales What If, and I'm kind of done now. I went on a big Exiles kick. It's one of the comics I might have to do a video about them in the future, because Exiles is what Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness should have been. Exiles, the first series of Exiles was 100 issues of the multiverse. The team of Exiles is random X-Men from different parallel universes, grabbed from their universe at either near a time of death or when their universe is about to end, and then they're teamed up and sent out to try to prevent other universes from being destroyed. And it's a very in-depth comic with lots of different teams, lots of characters you see in different lights. I mean, you get to see the good and the bad of characters, and then the in between. And I loved Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but I feel like they should have done more. There's plenty more they could have done, and if you read Exiles, you'll see what the fuck I mean. And it's a missed opportunity, but there's still time. There's still time, damn it. If they'll ever bring the X-Men to the MCU, we might actually get some Exiles. Let's see here. Extreme X-Men, kind of in the same vein as the Exiles. Definitely worth a read. Has some of the same key characters like Psylocke. Although she becomes more prevalent in New Exiles, but she is still pretty prevalent in the Exiles mythos. Alright, I'm going too far back here. Also, I've stayed up on all my X-Men. I'm reading Hellions, X-Force, X-Men Red. Where's the other? Powers of X, although that should be finishing up soon. X Factor, whenever that comes back again. Way of X, I had to catch up on that again. X-Force, I think I said that already. Ooh, here's something something off the beaten path of X-Men that I've developed here. Elektra Black, White, and Blood. Black, White, and Blood, every one of those comics is worth a read. They're usually quick reads. The stories don't have anything to do with, the main continuity. It's just examples of this character doing some badassery. Or telling a story that kind of explains the character's emotional state or their personality, however you want to look at it or perceive it. And Elektra was a fantastic read. It was gory where it had to be and not, too, oh my god, this is just smut in magazine form or comic book form. No, it was very interesting and very detailed. I highly recommend it. Of course, it's not as good as Black, White, and Blood for Deadpool, but it'll do. Here we go. Excellent. Now, Excellent is the resurrection of a comic from yesteryear, if you will. It's based off of, well, not based off of, it's the retelling of Ecstatics. Maybe not retelling, that's a bad way to put it. Ecstatics was a comic in the 80s. Basically, think of the boys in a Marvel universe. Well, maybe not the boys as much as the celebrity of the superheroes. It's like superheroes treated as celebrities. And it's still in the same continuity, but they're just a little off the beaten path. And also, keep in mind, all of these superpowers are pretty shitty. This is where you get people like Zeitgeist, who, vomits acid. And there's a character I read about in this that he releases body odor that can he can control how much he releases. That's about the extent of it. And I think it does affect certain people. Some people can be swayed by the smell of it. Sounds lovely. But needless to say, I feel like this Excellent needs to be brought to the mainstream, brought to just Disney Plus needs to have a side section for adults, and this would be a good way to start that. You could do it bring in some of the producers or directors from the fucking The Boys, and boom, there you go. Give them a few excellent comics to pour over and let them have at it. Write a script, damn it. Alright, let's see. We can wrap this up a little bit with... What else have I been reading? Now let's dive into what I've been watching as well. I've been extremely infatuated with 60 Days In. No, I don't want to go any time. It's just been a very interesting show here lately. I don't know what even brought it to my forefront. And I've now made it through all the seasons. Almost. I still got to finish season 6 and 7, but it's just interesting to see the different reactions people have when they go in. I don't envy these people whatsoever. I actually think it's probably a very dumb idea to voluntarily go into jail. Oh, let me preface this. 60 Days In is a show about people volunteering with the sheriff's office to go into jail and observe and try to give back feedback for 60 days. One participant did do 120 days. He voluntarily, he didn't do anything wrong. He just had done so good in his first 60 days. And the sheriff was like, well, you want to stay for another 60? And he did. That's why I say these people are not normal, to say the least. I can't see it. But nonetheless, the show is very entertaining. It's captivating to see how some of the participants actually go in and instigate things and make it worse than it actually has to be, whether it be for them or participants around them. If you watch season 3, I believe it is, you'll definitely see what I mean. But here in season 6, I've noticed there's one participant in particular that's just hell bent on like making his life harder, even when it comes to confronting the sheriff who's setting this up in the first place. Like, if anybody's really lost the plot of why they're there, it's this guy. He went in and I guess just like a switch triggered, or maybe the switch was already triggered before he even went in, and now he just is fucking loopy, man. Anyway, I won't do any too many spoilers on 60 Days In, but it's a show I've been giving a lot of time to, and I don't know why, but it's somebody sharing this with me. Just that's all I'm asking. Somebody give it a shot out there, because I did. That's why. And for the last little comic I will dive into is Knights of X. Please read Knights of X. We got to keep this comic alive. If not for my beloved Rachel Summers being in it and Bay the Blood Moon being in it, let's just keep it alive. Captain Britain, come on, you can't go wrong with X-Men and Captain Britain. Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, to be clear. And this recent comic has Sentinels, kinda. For those of you who don't read comics very often, you'll see what I mean. For those of you who do read comics very often, if I've said any bullshit, please call me out in the comments. Alright. I think that's going to be all for us here, folks. Tune in next week. I'll do a little more deep dive. I'll bring better notes to the table, and we'll discuss more things I'm watching and listening to, or watching, reading, and all that. Later on in the week, we will have another sports recap and some bold predictions for the weekend. Hopefully my co-host will be back, and that'll liven up the show a little bit. And I think that's all from me here. You guys have a good day, night, and morning. Bye.